What is up, Edison duelists? This is Dionysus, aka Young Puds, coming at you guys with some more shameless hype beast GigaVise content. Folks, today is a big, very exciting day. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. There's a very small, basically unknown Edison format content creator. The channel is I am nerd. It goes by the name Frazier Smith. Like I said, super unknown, but I actually did a collab video with him. So definitely go ahead, watch that video today. If you're coming from that video, welcome to the channel. It was mentioned, Frazier mentioned, that we had actually played. I'd played against Frazier Smith a little bit ago. He was on Monster Mash. I, of course, was on GigaVise, so I thought it would be fun to just go ahead and take a look at that replay. This was a few months ago, but I do remember it being a really, really good match. It stood out to me. Of course, I didn't know that this was his username, and I had people messaging me in the direct messages during the games, like, I think you're playing Frazier, bro. And I was like, all right, let's go, you know? So let's just jump into it. We lose the die roll. Always a great beginning to things. You guys know how it is. And we open just fine. Hidden Armory, Miracle Fertilizer, always happy to see those. You can see we're just on our pretty normal build with our Raigeki breaks and everything. He's going to open with just Set Hamster Pass, which is pretty nice for the Monster Mash type deck. We've got the Upstart Goblin going right into Gold Sark. And now that kind of mid-hand has become an absolutely fantastic hand. I do get hit with the GigaVise guy question mark. And I don't know, I was probably being a little testy and I decided to just not answer that. Shame on me. Antisocial behavior, absolutely disgusting. You know, it's really interesting. In Industrial Society and Its Future, Theodore J. Kaczynski actually talks about how, you know, antisocial behavior is on the rise in industrial society. And then he also discusses something else which I think is interesting, and he describes it as I think hypersocial behavior, and he notes that, you know, in an industrial society, human population levels, they're much larger and the population density is in this really unnatural form, and it leads to this behavior where people are over socialized. And, you know, this is back in like what, the 80s, the 90s when this was written. And, you know, we've really seen, especially in the internet age, where just everyone is so hyper concerned with what they're saying and how it's coming off. And it's impeding, you know, communication, and it's causing a great deal of anxiety for people. And now, of course, you know, he did commit terrible crimes. And this is not an endorsement of that. But I do think, you know, it's interesting to see how much of what he said was really ahead of its time, and in terms of at least diagnosing a lot of the issues, you know, maybe he was on the right track in terms of the diagnosis. The treatment that he prescribed, I absolutely unequivocally am against. Anyways, while I was yapping here, we put together a very nice, powerful board. Pretty tough for our opponent to come back. He is going to have a Raikou, so he's not losing right now. But definitely, he's got an uphill battle to climb against. I'm seeing some options, you know. Anything good that he milled? You know, milling that fortress, that's nice. He could do some sort of Cyber Dragon Chimera Tech play. But we are also pretty insulated with the Mirror Force. So let's see what he can come up with. We did see in these mills, I saw the Gallus. So, you know, El Tannen, that used to be, you know, just a dead giveaway. Okay, your opponent's on Monster Mash, but especially with it being such an effective answer to decks like GigaVise, we're seeing this in just about every machine deck, or at least more machine decks. But Gallus, this is, you know, that tells me, okay, we're up against Monster Mash, which I think is definitely a favorable matchup. And I gotta say, in this match, you'll see Frazier Smith pilots this deck really, really well. Definitely a high skill cap deck. If you are making the wrong choice, you get punished so hard. Speaking of getting punished, a Colossal Fighter has been produced, and that is going to run directly into my Mirror Force. So that's going to be GG Game 1. Let's see how play is going to continue into Games 2 and 3. While we're drawing our opening hands, I got to tell you guys, you know how I love sharing details about my personal life. Today, I've had a fantastic day. And it made me think of a German phrase. A German phrase. Shout out to all my German viewers. I look at the viewer demographics. I know some of you are out there in Berlin, perhaps. But there's a German phrase, and please correct my pronunciation. But it goes something like this. Morgenstund hat Gold im Mund. And it literally translates to the morning hour has gold in its mouth. And another way to say that, a better way to translate that idiom into English might be the early bird gets the worm. Folks, let me tell you, last night I had a huge victory. My daughter's sleep schedule is really, really equalizing. It's at a good point. I didn't have a lot of chores to do around the house, so I actually got to go to sleep before 10 p.m. Folks, I don't know about you guys, but if I get to go to sleep before 10 p.m., I am so happy. Because that means when the sun wakes me up in the morning, I'm going to feel well rested. I'm going to get right out of bed. I'm going to get dressed, and I'm going to go seize the day. Carpe diem. You guys know what I mean? So anyways, it's like 6:30 a.m. It's cool out still. The morning summer heat hasn't kicked in. I go, there's woods very close to me, just a couple blocks away, so I go for a walk in the woods. I come out into town. I go to the bakery. But folks, while I was on the way to the woods, I kid you not, I was sitting there, standing there walking, really, thinking about just how absolutely fantastic of a day I was going to have because it started like this, because it started so nice, and I saw a robin pull a worm out of the ground and eat it and fly away, and I thought to myself, Morgenstund hat Gold im Mund. I'm going to make a video today, and I'm going to talk about that. And then, Frazier goes ahead and posts our Teach Me How to Cook episode. So I was like, well, we have to have some content out. And it just writes itself. So I haven't been paying attention at all. We've seen some mills. We have a power tool dragon up, but honestly, we are not in the strongest position. So let's see how we get our way out of this. Mark of the Rose plus DDR is really, really nice. We do have Chalice on deck, ready to go. Setting that Chalice would have been crazy good. He probably isn't on Heavy Storm, or if he is, he cited it out. So let's see how we're able to play through this. We've lost our Power Tool Dragon. Even putting that Power Tool in defense would have been amazing. It would have forced out, a more committal play. We've got a Miracle Fertilizer here. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and go Fertilizer. And then I'm going to Mark the Rose, banish the Copy Plant, steal the Gear Frame, DDR, discard the Nettles, bring back the Copy Plant, copy Lonefire. We're going to Synchro for another Power Tool Dragon. Folks, this is getting good. We're going to Power Tool Dragon for 1, 2 Supervises and a Mark of the Rose. And we do hit the Supervise. So now we can go ahead and use Lonefire Blossom. And we'll go ahead and make a Gigaplant and equip that with our Supervise. I'm guessing we're on 3 Power Tool in this deck, but it looks like I'm just going to go ahead and decide to go for the Titanial, run over the Fortress. I am going to be able to negate the effect. Shame I couldn't get attack in with the Gigaplant, because then, we'd get a second attack. I do decide to tribute the Titanial. That could be a mistake, but I feel like I really want to keep the Gigaplant with Supervise up, just to have my board be a little stickier. And then combined with the Chalice, that's going to put us in a pretty decent position. This is pretty hard to out. Frazier's going to pick up that Gores 1 turn too late, which, very happy to see that here on the replay. We're going to start things off, and we're going to get burned for a little bit of damage off the Gallus. Here comes the Hyper Synchron now. And so I'm guessing this is just going to be a simple Black Rose Dragon, and of course it is. We do have the Chalice to stop that. And so it's going to have a lot more attack points than normal because of that Hyper Synchron. But running over the Gigaplant, our Gigaplant is going to live a turn. And unfortunately, though, he does have the El-Tannin as a follow-up. Without the El-Tannin, we were in a fantastic place. But he did happen to have 2 board wipes in hand. So now we're top decking. Definitely doesn't feel great. Ripping a Cyber Dragon, though, absolutely insane. Running into Gores, absolutely terrible. So Now, all he has to do, really, I think, is just put the fortress on the field, and we're going to lose. Yeah, there you have it. So that'll be it for Game 2. Now let's go into that very, very important Game 3. While this is starting up, I want to ask, how have you guys been doing? How have you guys been doing? I know the videos haven't been coming super frequently, super often. I miss you guys. I miss talking to you guys every day. I miss reading your comments. There's definitely a couple things I do want to talk about. The GigaVise world, folks, has been going absolutely crazy recently. So here we do have fertilizer. So I just go for the titanial. We have Trunade, which you leave in against Monster Mash because it is such a powerful combo extender as well as a back row clear. But yeah, shout out to Spore XD. He did very, very well at a very large tournament this past weekend. I'm thinking we'll do a little live stream pretty soon here. I want to go through his matches, just react. He posted this great in-depth video. I watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and I was like, this is something that we should do on stream. So we'll probably have that coming relatively soon. In the meantime, we're about to get dunked on by Black Rose Dragon. I gotta say, this list of Monster Mash is one of the decks that I feel is really held back by having only one copy of Black Rose Dragon. I think, you know, this like hyper synchron stuff, if you had a second Black Rose that you had access to, that would just be absolutely insane. So we're going to pick up a Cyber Dragon. That's pretty good here. I could, you know, try and establish a board right now with fertilizer and everything, but I want a little bit more gas, and I feel like I can probably break whatever he's doing with Cyber Dragon. You know, I'm feeling a little safe. We have a lot of gas, and if I could just pick up, you know, like a Supervise, a Hidden Armory, anything like that, then we would really be off to the races. So here comes a Witch. He is going to pick up a DD Crow. So now I do know that there's a Crow, but that's going to join the second one. This could be really scary because it's really easy. Okay, I know he has one Crow, and I play around that, and, you know, then I could get blown out by the second. So let's see how we navigate this. We are going to pick up the Hidden Armory. Also, I got to say, picking up the Witch of the Black Rose, this is a tuner, just leaving it there. I don't know if we're going to be able to convert it in this game, but being able to just yoink this level 4 tuner is absolutely insane for us. There's so many cool lines that you get to do, but let's see what we're going to have instead here. Here comes the Furt, and we're going to target the Lonefire, and Frazier's going to think, and he does decide to hold the Crow, and I really like that play. You know, if your opponent knows that you have a Crow, and then they just are immediately gunning something that Crow can interrupt, it seems really, you know, like you'll probably be able to, you know, do more damage if you hold the Crow. Like, if your opponent plays into something that they know you have, they're expecting you to use the DD Crow. Sometimes, you know, you have to use your counterplay. You don't have a choice. What they're trying to pull off is going to be so catastrophic that if you don't use the Crow immediately, you're going to lose. I don't think this is the case here. I think there's almost certainly going to be a moment later on this turn where this Crow could interrupt me. So holding the Crow, that's a really smart play. Take notes, folks. Take notes. You can learn from that. Anyways, I'm going to Trunade and bring back the fertilizer so I can use it again. Not going to get any other value out of Trunade against Monster Mash. Here comes Gigaplant. So now I've successfully established the Gigaplant on the board, and we are going to hit an Armory for a Supervise. So that is going to let us extend a little bit further here. We are going to Supervise right into Titanial. Of course, I don't want to be playing around I want to be playing around the Crow, so I don't want to be Synchro summoning, because that's just, you know, instantly going to get blown out. So I am going to bring back a Titanial. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and Fertilizer again, this time for Copy Plant. I really like this one to get DD Crowed, and you know, I tried to create a situation that's going to force out the Crow. If I get that Copy Plant off, that's pretty catastrophic. And now we're going to be able to push him for big damage. It's not going to be quite game, and it's also a shame to have to leave the Cyber Dragon on board. But, you know, what can you do? If that Copy Plant had gone through, we could have done some really crazy shenanigans. We could have made a Bryanak with the Cyber Dragon, and then we could have pushed in for game. So, definitely correct to stop it. Here comes a Trag in hand. Really unfortunate for our opponent here this game. We've seen a Trag draw and a Gorge draw after a big push. So, you know, definitely glad to see those coming later. Here, Frazier is going to think for 10,000 years. I'm sure he's on stream. If I recall, he's on stream while this is going on. So, you know, it's really hard to stream and play. I think it's hard enough to do like commentary, live commentary while I'm recording for you guys. And I've tried it a couple times to stream and duel. And that is just like another thing completely. Anyways, here comes an Eltanin set Ryko DD Crow to deny my supervise. So we could be in a pretty bad spot, but we do rip a DDR, which is just about as good as it gets. So we'll go ahead and bring out our Gigaplant, and then normal summon the Gigaplant, bring back Nettles, and here, pop quiz, what do you make? That's right, you make Red Dragon Archfiend to play around a potential set Ryko or Hamster. We just want to delete that, skip the flip, and Red Dragon Archfiend is also a 3k body, which is, especially without Fortress in the mix, pretty tough for our opponent to deal with. He's going to pick up a Hyper Synchron, so it looks like he's really just depending on a fantastic draw from Witch of the Black Forest here. And I gotta say, Hamster is not going to be fast enough. We have a Fertilizer that is ready to resolve. Since the monster never hit the field, the Fertilizer just sticks around. It's a continuous spell after all, and we can keep using it every turn. We'll bring back a Titanial. We're just going for big damage here. We'll punch in for 28 and then 3,000. I do it in this order because I don't want to attack for 3,000, or, you know, attack first with the Red Dragon Archfiend, and then like get hit with like a Battle Fader or something, and then I would lose the Titanial and the Fertilizer. So it plays worse into Gores, but you know, you can have 3 copies of Battle Fader. I don't know this list of Monster Mash, but Battle Fader seems pretty common in Monster Mash, so I was trying to keep that in mind. And then we're just going to pass. Here comes the Gores, 1 turn late again. Really feels bad, stinks to see, but feels good for us for getting the win. So yeah, shout out Frazier Smith. Go watch the Teach Me How to Cook episode. Go watch every single video on Frazier's channel. I don't think I would be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In Edison format these days if it wasn't for that content. So definitely check that out. It's worth a look. It's worth something to enjoy. And look out for more GigaVise content coming very soon. And I should specify, this will be shameless hype beast GigaVise content, not just any GigaVise content. Now, before we go, I do have something I want to bring to your attention. This is none other than the Midwest Edison Clash. This is going to be a huge tournament. This is a very big deal. Let's open this link. Let's take a look here. So this is a tournament that was put together in the wake of Konami's disastrous announcement. If you look, this is a Dark End SGCS prize card and a champion mat as first place prizing, but look at that. A Ghost first, Black Rose Dragon as second place prizing, Ultimate Rare Caiuses for third and fourth. This is absolutely fantastic prizing, all the way down to 16th place. Huge prizing. This is going to be absolutely amazing. The tournament is going to be in Toledo, Ohio. So if you are anywhere near Ohio, go to this tournament, win some awesome prizing. It's going to be fantastic. And other than that, I will see you guys very soon with some more shameless Hypebeast GigaVise content. Until then, keep it real, and I'll see you folks next time. Have a nice day.